Hello, Chapel Hill. It's Lori Oliver Boyd, the Director of Children and Family Ministry, bringing you the Midweek Update. As we close out the Christmas season and look forward to the new year, it is a time that we often look back at where we've been. And I want to take a couple of minutes today to look back at a sermon series that Pastor Paul brought us through this fall called Influencers. In that series, we learned that each and every one of us is called to be an influencer, and that God equips us to accomplish that mission. So as we gather this weekend, on the very first Sunday of a new year and the first Sunday of a new month, we will gather in a family worship setting, as has been our custom lately. Some of you may wonder why in the world we do that. And I want you to think about the role that we learned about as influencers, and I want you to think about it in a new way, and that is as an influencer of the next generation. You see, I think God calls each of us to influence that next generation. As the kids and I have gone through some of the stories of the Old Testament this fall, we learned about the promise that God gave to Abraham, and we learned the covenant that he gave to Moses. And one of the things that we see as we continue on through those stories is that the people failed often to pass that on to the next generation. We see that they forget from one generation to the next who God is and what he brought them through and what he had done for them. And I think God gives each of us that responsibility to continue to teach the younger ones of our faith so that they will not forget, so that they will build a faith strong enough to carry them forward. I love to create environments and lessons that respect kids for who they are and where they're at developmentally. And I love seeing kids learn God's truths and God's love for them at their level and how it touches their hearts. But I know that that's not the full story that they need. They also need to see themselves as part of the larger community of God. So as we gather this weekend and the kids are with us, they will see adults singing praises to God. They will see adults praying for one another. They will see adults taking notes and learning from the sermon. And all of those things together will help to round out what they need to know to become committed followers of Jesus. So whether you're the parent of a young family or not, you have a role to play in those family worship services. If you're the parent of a young child, while we're singing, I want you to help encourage them to sing the choruses when they can. When you're taking notes in the sermon, encourage them to take notes, and if they're not yet writers, help them to draw pictures of what they see and hear in the service. When it comes time for us all to take communion together, even if your children aren't quite ready yet in their understanding to take communion, explain to them what's going on. Help them to see what they will grow into when they do reach that understanding. And if you're not the parent of a young child, maybe this weekend you want to help a little bit by choosing to sit at a table with a young family, because you know what? I happen to know that most of our young families, the kids outnumber the parents. And so they would probably welcome another set of hands to help encourage their kids into the service. So as we go forward and we prepare ourselves for this weekend, I want us all to think about this prayer focus. I want you to think about praying for our kids and our students that they would grow a faith strong enough to carry them into the future, that they would be able to meet the challenges of the world they're growing into. I want you to pray for our young families and our young parents and the job that they have in discipling their children. And I want you to think about yourself as an influencer of the next generation and what role God might have for you to play in that mission to help to tell our kids what the faith looks like in the larger community, what the full picture of a faith community is as we worship together this weekend. We'll see you on Sunday. Thanks, Chapel Hill.